this is Castle of Castle Does, bringing some Subnautica action. Um, so I have been kind of holding off on doing Subnautica videos in the last couple of weeks. One because I took a week off just for my birthday and Thanksgiving, but the other week I kind of took a little bit of time off because my design work as a whole has been sort of replaced more with me being more of a manager lately and making sure that everybody is on the right page as far as being just like basically I'm a lead level designer now. I'm not just doing regular design works, which is some of the stuff that you're actually seeing right here is like now my design work that you're seeing is mostly just making sure everybody has everything, that all the entities are set up, that the things that we're being asked to do are being tracked properly. So here's footage of me actually like going over what each and every one of these boxes needs to have, and what the naming conventions are for all of them. This is for all the other. This is for the other designers to have it set up so that they can just place entities into the world. And of course, I also have to like go in and place entities and do a little bit of placement so that I can show as an example, okay, this is how we're doing it. So like my job has changed a lot uh, recently, which unfortunately is less entertaining to watch because me working in a spreadsheet is woohoo, yeah. I think that's just one of those things that happens if you end up doing managerial stuff. You don't get that, cool fun in the trenches, like constantly making things in the editor and entertaining stuff, and end up being more someone who's gathering up lists and making sure that people are communicating, and even I even set up a level design Trello for Subnautica that has all of the level design tasks localized into one area. Um, yeah, so that's that. That's what's going on. So I haven't really had ever very much level design footage to show anymore. I mean, I've just been so focused just on getting everything in place. So here is actually my the I set up a level design specific Trello for designers to grab chunks of the world, and we have 108 separate areas, and they're big. They're bigger than the cells. Like if you look at the cells in Skyrim's world space, a batch is actually like maybe twice as large. So these areas are really big, and we have 108 of them. So I spent a long time just thinking, okay, well, how are we going to organize this and make sure that we know that all 108 areas are getting the attention that they need. So what I ended up deciding to do was break them all up into what I call areas, which is a grouping of batches. And I made 13 of them. And with all 13 of these, they each have maybe about 8 to 10, somewhere between 5 and 10 tasks that need to be completed within each of them. And now we can actually track them all, and they're actually being tracked. Like one of them is almost done right now. We almost have one area that's 100% complete for the next milestone, which is yeah, fuck yeah. So yeah, that's good. That's good. We're in a good standing at that moment, at this moment. But there's still a hell of a lot left that needs to be done. Yikes. So as you can see right here, this is me working with the entity distributions CSV. So each one of these CSVs, each one of these rows is pointing to a specific spawn point, which is either the boxes or the spheres. And though these objects are, and these are the objects that can potentially spawn in them. For right now, we only have one per spawn point, but well, actually, that's changed since this video was made, and just that's changed because I have actually done some random chance spawns where like 2 or 3 different things can spawn. That didn't start coming into play though until the survival elements, which is another thing that that's being worked on right now. I'm helping out with survival elements within Subnautica because I have a lot of experience making survival stuff in other games. Like I did survival for Fallout 3, I did survival for Project Nevada for Fallout New Vegas. I did all the survival stuff for that, and or at least almost all the survival stuff. I think there's probably a couple of things that I didn't do, but I did all of the food balancing and all that stuff. And Skyrim, which one of my other videos is me going over like the survival elements for Skyrim. So I've actually done stuff that for that as well. So this would actually be my fourth survival system. Right here is the survival sheet that and this is totally like open public and everything like that for this, but I set the numbers in place. Now I'm not the only one doing this. I mean, obviously Charlie is having a he's having final say on all the decisions and everything like that, but I'm kind of just like helping out with it. But we ended up getting a pretty decent survival system in place. See, once again, more Excel spreadsheets. Anytime you take this step away from just working on everything to managerial tasks and get ready for the spreadsheets, the lists, the Word documents. Yeah, eh. It's not fun for videos though. So here you can see me actually hooking this up. So what I had to do is I had to make a full list in a Google document of all of the entities in the entire game, and then uh, give that list to a programmer so that that list can actually be hooked up. The way it's set up right now is that it has to be done in that order. A programmer actually has to put these things in. Then I have to make sure that all of the names of the actual objects in the world match the things that I made in that original list. And then I make sure that all of those objects are now pointing to the correct object. So yeah, this is some exciting stuff, man. Woohoo! It's so exciting. Look, action! This is so much better than watching stuff happen really quickly, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Okay, so with all of the information I just provided, I think that I'm still going to be, obviously, I'm still doing level design related things. Mostly just going to be helping out other designers, and I will, uh, pick certain areas. It's really hard to say because when I started off on this project, I was just a designer, but I have a lot of experience with managing stuff in the past, and I absolutely feel it was absolutely necessary. If nobody else is doing it, somebody has to be doing it. If somebody else decides to step up and take it, then I'll go back to doing just you know level design specific things. But yeah, we need to have management on this front. There's no way that a project like this could work without it. So, with that said, I'm gonna try and do as much as I can, and everything like that. So while I'm being a manager or lead level designer, is because that's exactly what I am right now. I'm a lead level designer. Um, the my Subnautica videos are probably gonna aim more in the direction of being sort of like a video blog, like what's going on and stuff. Which I mean, hey, that's pretty cool, but it's not what I envisioned for the channel because I just want to show like cool level design stuff. But this is still level design. It's like lead level design. It's not like I decided to be a janitor. That'd be kind of funny actually. You imagine like time lapse janitorial work. Anyway, that's uh I don't know. And there are also some general changes with the channel as well. That I'm also going to stop focusing on making more videos. I'm going to focus on making fewer videos, 3 videos a week instead of 5. It's just better that way. Like, if I focus on 3 or 4 videos, 3 to 5 videos a week instead of having to have a video every day, maybe even more, I can focus more on making the videos themselves higher quality and getting, improving my like editing skills and collecting like enough different types of music and add sounds and stuff, just make better videos, which I'm sure isn't really that bad of an idea. I liked the idea originally of having like a full time lapse of like from when I first started the project, and you could see everything I did all the way up until the first major milestone of the project, which was web early access. That was pretty neat, but now things are starting to get more complicated. I'm not just specifically focused on level design stuff. I can't keep doing that anymore. Of course, at this point, I've already explained that. I hope I'm not repeating myself. Alright, so what's going on in these? Right now, I am doing a final pass as an example of how things should work and making sure that all of the newly renamed entity slots are functioning correctly and are being accounted for, because I have new stuff. I have like grass was one that didn't exist before. So now whenever you see grass, see we were doing entity slots very differently before, and I kind of came in. I was like, okay, this is going to be let's do it. Let's do it more specifically. Like if you see some grass, then you place grass on it. If you see a rocky wall, and you place, plateau wall on it. Like plateau wall, plateau, 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 plateau. So going with more specific spawns not only helps us be more consistent across the entire world space, which is huge. Like consistency is a really big deal. You can't just like sneeze out consistency. That shit has to be like a big part of the game. But the way we were doing it before, it wasn't really being very consistent. You could argue whether or not something was grass or, well, it wasn't like if it was grass, it was like if this is an area that contains grass, then place one of these here. Like, well, if it's not enough grass, so it's just a little bit of grass, so it's not enough of that area. It doesn't. To me, it just didn't make sense. Somebody can argue with you whether or not they feel that that area is rolling hills. So now it's just specific. Pow. See grass? Pow. Is it a cave? Pow. Is it a cave entrance? Pow. Is it a cave recess? Pow. Even a cave recess can be a little bit weird because, naturally speaking, a cave is kind of a recess, right? Yeah, I'm using a lot of the find replace. Find replace in the hierarchy. Diddle-diddle-doo. Alright. I don't know. Now I'm just not making sense anymore. I think actually, yeah. Pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good now. I think I got everything off my chest. That was the main stuff. So the slots go down first, and then you place a creature slot next to the slot, not next to the loot slots. Now I had to go in and make sure that all of the hand placed creatures, because this is a while back, all of the hand placed creatures like the stalkers and the gasopods and stuff, they were at one point they were all hand placed, but I feel pretty strongly that we should have like all creatures and all loot slots use the CSV, that CSV file. They should all utilize that for random spawning chances. I don't think there should be any creatures or any loot slots that are hand placed that do not follow that system. It's just better. It's just a better. It gives us more flexibility down the road. Like it makes things more consistent. Uh, Even in the case where an object will always be the same thing, I still want it to go through that system. Because we may decide to change our minds. Who knows? So I define that as a standard that that these are always going to follow that, and to me it makes a lot of sense. Now I'm trying to find the perfect thing to place there, which was outcropping. So yeah, look at that. It's all coming together. Now here I am. Okay, quartz. Quartz generally spawns in grass and near plants. Those kinds of consistencies are good because any kinds of things like that, it's easier for the player to pick up on it as well. Like if he visually sees grass, the player doesn't care about what the type of area it is. It's more about what the player is looking at currently that matters. It's much easier to decipher. Well, I'm looking at sand, so something that spawns in sand naturally should appear there, rather than is it a sandy area or is there more rock? I'm almost positive that there's some interesting detail that I'm completely forgetting right now. Ah, I don't know. There's been a lot of discussion lately about the survival system that's in the game now. And the survival system is it's an interesting cookie because it's not something that I don't even think that a lot of the developers who are making successful survival games right now fully grasp why this survival system is why a survival game is fun. It seems to be like an extremely misunderstood uh, system, and now we're actually doing survival in Subnautica, survival elements. And I mean, let's face it. If you add survival elements, you're making a survival game. You don't want to just throw like survival into World of Warcraft. It's not a survival game. They're too. It's a game about when you have survival elements, you want it to be a game about survival, or everything has to complement that. Now, it's like when you make that decision early on, that everything else that you design around the game now needs to complement that mechanic, that concept. So I think in a lot of ways, it's probably why we're not really seeing too many AAA developers working on survival stuff, because it's hard to wrap your head around it. It really does change everything from the ground up. You can't think of a game as just having light survival elements. I mean, it does, but a light survival element just sounds annoying to me. It doesn't serve any purpose. You might as well have no survival elements if it's just light survival elements. I don't know. I mean, it could be kind of fun, maybe. I mean, Minecraft is pretty fun when you're just building stuff. Uh, your your hunger and stuff like that doesn't go down as quickly, which is definitely actually I feel like that kind of a consideration needs to be a part of Subnautica. Although one of the things, just an observation about Subnautica right now, this game's actually going to be kind of tough. Like we don't have all the elements in place yet, but from just having a pretty good understanding of what we're adding to the game in in coming times, there are very few things that we're adding that are going to make the game easier, and we're adding a lot of stuff that's going to make the game tougher. So I wonder how that's going to pan out. Anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more. The evil that satisfies your
发现后悔。